Ripple has just won its case against the SEC as the judge rules XRP is not a security. This is of course extremely bullish news for XRP and the rest of the crypto market overall. However, the real question is, where can the price of XRP actually go? And what are the key price predictions for Bitcoin and the other major altcoins? Well, in today's video, Seb, our #1 educator and analyst here at the InvestorPro Academy, will be answering those very questions. Now, if you want to get early access to this information along with Seb's analysis, make sure to join the InvestorPro Academy using the first link in the video description and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into it.
My name is Seb Crypto Trades, and every single week I will be updating all of you on the cryptocurrency markets. Before we even get into crypto, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at DXY. Over here, as you can see, we've had a very large drop in DXY as of recent. We're actually making some new lows over here at around 100.5. Lows that we haven't seen in 445 days. There is essentially no support in sight. In the next 2 days, if we don't actually close above and make some equal lows here, we are looking to go quite a lot lower on this pair. The lower they go on DXY, the easier it's going to be for equities such as the, let's go ahead and pull up the S&P 500 right here. The easier it's going to be for it to rally. If I were to just go ahead and grab this fib, you can see that this right here is going to be your golden pocket of the Fibonacci. Right? This is your Fibonacci retracement golden pocket. Over here, you're going to notice that this is going to be a very strong resistance. Over here, this is where we topped out, so we have a lot of liquidity. I'm expecting us to top out here. Same thing with the US 100, exact same idea, right? Absolutely massive rally. So with DXY dropping, we're looking at a little bit more before we see some sort of bounce. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into cryptos. So if I go ahead and take a look at the weekly Bitcoin CME chart, the reason why I'm paying attention to it is because it will allow you to see some CME gaps which you are not able to see on the regular Bitcoin chart due to the fact that the Bitcoin CME only trades during the week. There is no weekend trading. So if I go over here, you can see that we have this gap at around 36,000 on Bitcoin. If I were to just go and replay so that I can just go back there, you can see this gap opened up if I'm on the 15-minute. Okay, it doesn't let me on the 15, so on the 1 hour, as you can see right here, it opened up at around 36,000, right? And ended up closing at about 34,500. In other words, we are essentially looking at Bitcoin potentially making it up there in the next month or so. That is going to be my prediction for the next month. I am looking for us to fill the CME gap. If I were to go a little bit lower, you can see we had this CME gap, which looked like it was not going to fill for quite a while, as we ended up dropping about 42% from there. But then lo and behold, we ended up making our way up and filling it. Same idea with this CME gap right here. We ended up filling it, even though we went quite a lot higher. People would think we would just keep going up. Meanwhile, we had this massive move down, and then from there we moved up. So that is why we're mentioning CME gaps. This is going to be a very important target, right around 35 to 36K. With Ethereum, it's going to be a relatively higher target, percentage-wise. We are essentially looking at about 30 to 40%. Right? That's quite a decent move. For Bitcoin, we're looking at about 16%. I'm going to go ahead and explain why that is. Now, with that being said, if I were to just zoom in, you can see that we had this CME gap on the 4 hour, right? Right here that was created. We came into it, got rejected, and then from there made this gap, filled it, and then from there came into it, and got rejected. I'm expecting us to flip above this one and potentially march up into this one in the next month. If we don't fill it now, we're going to fill it sometime in the future, so keep that in mind. That being said, we also have this CME gap. If I just go right here, all the way down at about 1400 to 1500. So keep that in mind as well. We have a downside target on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. If I go on Bitcoin, you can see there's a CME gap right here at around 21,000. Let's get into Bitcoin dominance. This is the reason why Ethereum is going to take quite a lot more to actually make it up to its CME gap. You can see ever since around the 28th of November 2022, whenever we're bottoming out around this 40% range, which to be fair is a very key area. This is where we bottomed out back in 2018 as well. We ended up having this absolutely massive rally, right? And we just continued. If I go on the daily, what you can see is that we are currently in some form of resistance. I'm not going to go ahead and explain what this analysis is quite yet, as it's relatively advanced. It's within smart money concepts, but we are currently in resistance, and I believe that we could make our way back down into this area over here, most likely like 48%. This would mark about a 6% drop, which would be massive for Bitcoin dominance. If we see this happen, it is most likely going to be because altcoins are moving. Ethereum would technically count as an altcoin. Ethereum is at support. This right here is going to be your support, and this is where we've been bottoming out. We also have this long-term trend line coming right here, showing your dynamic uptrend, right? So worst comes to worst, right, we're going to go down here if we don't hold. But if we do, we could expect some sort of 10% jump against Bitcoin. In other words, if Bitcoin goes up 10%, Ethereum will go up 20%. That is essentially what you're looking at over here. Total 1 is going through the entire total market cap. As you can see, after having this move down, it came back up to this support, and now it's holding it. So I'm expecting us to break above these highs, and then from there come into this golden pocket. Total 2 is going to be the total market cap minus Bitcoin. As you can see over here, we had these two trend lines where we were chopping for quite a while. Let's just see how long, about 70 days. Then from there we ended up closing below, got back above, held it, found resistance on the second one, and we are now holding it. So this is why I have this drawing right here, as I expect us to move back up to 608 billion. That'd be about a 10% move up. In other words, like I was saying with Ethereum Bitcoin, if Ethereum moves up 10% against Bitcoin, this right here is going to manifest itself. Total 3 is just going to be pure altcoins. As you can see over here, we had quite a violent crash. We went all the way back down to the post FTX lows, as you can see right here. Let me go ahead and remove this really quickly so that we have something a little bit cleaner. So as you can see, right, this move that I drew out a while ago has been playing out. We are now back above this trend line, and we're looking to target this zone. This, being completely pure altcoins and no Ethereum, means we're looking at about a 10% jump as well. Which means if XRP was the only altcoin, right, apart from Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, quote unquote altcoin, then we would see XRP move up 10%. That is essentially what we're looking at. Now, USDT dominance, this goes and shows you how the markets are doing, because whenever we see a drop in USDT dominance, we usually see a relatively large move up in the markets. As you can see, this is early 2023 in January. This is when we saw Bitcoin shoot up from about 20,000 up to 30,000. This was an absolutely massive move. And then over here, doing this move up right here, this was Bitcoin going from 30,000 to 20 or 25,000, something along those lines, right? Yes. And then over here, we ended up topping out, right? And then we came down. And now we've been chopping around here, which is why price hasn't done anything for the past, month or so. If we see us go down lower, we're going to see the cryptocurrency markets move up more. I don't have much of a bias here yet. I am waiting for some sort of clarity. USDC dominance, very simple. We are now below this key support, and now we could see this thing move down quite a good amount. Whether that's FUD surrounding USDC, or whether that's just simply put people selling the USDC and buying Bitcoin, we don't know yet. Bitcoin, we're now finally at the big boy. As you can see, we have this macro trend line going all the way back to 2011. So back in 2011, we have a touch in the all-time highs, touch right here in 2013. 2013, we rode it during 2015 over here, and then a perfect touch in March of 2020. And now at this point, as you can see, we held it whenever we came down to it. We ended up breaking below due to FTX, came up above, held it, and then from there, we came back to it recently. On the daily, it looks quite a lot cleaner, and actually provided you right here a very nice short based off this single trend line, which goes back, what is that, like 12 years. It's a very old trend line. Over here, we are getting close to it, so maybe we're going to find some form of support if we do come down to touch it. Apart from that, we have this very key monthly CME gap, or should I say monthly fair value gap right here, which should be some form of resistance. This spans between 32K to about 38K. If I zoom in, you can see that I have the CME gap shown right here at 36,000. This is why I have this target right here. Right around 34 to 36,000 should be where Bitcoin tops out, at the very least on candlesticks. We could see a wick all the way up to 40K, and then from there, a larger drop. This is going to be my prediction for the next month or so. I'm expecting us to have a final impulse up and then an impulse down. If I were to just go ahead and get something that would look relatively similar, do a bars pattern, this is relatively what I am expecting. As you can see, this would be a move up into it in the next month or so, right? If I were to just show you, that's about 1 month. And then from there, we would come down, at the very least back down to 24,000, but we would most likely have some larger drop down to about 20,000 or so. If the markets are really bearish later this year, we could see us go all the way back down to about 15,000. Here's another Bitcoin chart. Over here, we have this channel. And as you can see right here, whenever we had this massive move up, we ended up hitting this mid zone. So if you want another upside target, right now we're looking at about 33,000. The next one's going to be all the way up here, which is going to be 38,000. And then right here, as I was saying, right around 40 to 42,000. So these are your main targets at the moment, which are dynamic, right? It moves with time. The longer it takes for it to hit, it'll be higher. That being said, support, we're looking at this green one right here, which is right around 29,500, let's say. So if price comes back down to around 29,000, make sure to pay attention to this. If I go back, you can see These are all these touches right here and these touches right here. We even held it right here, as you can see. Apart from that, we have this clear support right here. This used to be resistance and now became support. And this is what we held. So if we come down to about 25,000, you could expect some sort of bounce. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Ethereum. As you can see right here, we have this trend line. We have a touch here, here, here. We have resistance, support, and now we've been writing this as support. If I go into the 4 hour, you can see we've been holding this pretty much perfectly, giving you potential entries for longs. This could have given you a play right here, coming to this bearish fair value gap. Had you entered it like so, right here, with a stop loss right here, coming into the bearish fair value gap at around the 0.5 fib, you would have gotten about 4 to 5 risk to reward. Nice free trade, just based off of that simple trend line and some basic smart money concepts. With that being said, if we go a little bit lower, we have this green trend line, which as you can see, comes back from here. And it is giving us right around 1800. A little bit lower than that, you have this trend line, which is going back to this 0.5 fib at about 1775. In other words, around 1800 is going to be where you see support if we come down lower, which is about a 5% drop. If we go lower than that, 1700 should be key. As you can see, this used to be resistance, and now it's become relative support, which would be about a 10% drop. To the upside, we have these previous highs right around this false golden pocket. I'm calling it a false golden pocket due to the fact we took the high right here instead of the all-time high. This is about 10 to 15%. Apart from that, if we go a little bit lower, like I was saying, we're around 1800, we could take this position. This is a completely free trade for all of you, 5 risk to reward. If this plays out in the next month, all of you have to post your profits within the InvestorPro Academy Discord, letting me know you made some good money. Apart from that, we have these trend lines, which are bringing us down to about 1700, as I was saying. Let's go ahead and just show you XRP really quickly. XRP has been a little bit weak, right? It's been kind of on this downtrend. If you're looking for a change in structure, we are currently waiting for a break above 48 cents. Once we get a daily break above 48 cents, we could easily see us at the very least come back up to about 51 cents, which would be about 10%. Eventually, I would like to see XRP go back up to about 60 to 70 cents. The absolute highest I would expect it to go would be swing high, swing low, golden pocket right here. All right, at the very least though, it's going to be this 0.5 fib right around 75 cents, which would be roughly 64%. So that's what I'm looking at whenever it comes down to XRP. In the short term, we have this buy side liquidity right here in this 1.618. So anywhere between 56 cents to 58 cents is what I am hoping to see. We have some support as well over here with these trend lines, giving us support about 44 to 45 cents, which is about 5%. And that's about it for this market update. Nice, quick, short, and right to the point. I'll see all of you really soon in the InvestorPro Academy Discord. Peace.